Einstein ruled in 1900, 1600, 1700. It's ruled by the great Isaac Newton. It has been said that if Isaac Newton was alive today, Isaac Newton would get a lot of the Nobel Prize for all the things that he had done for science. And that's true. He was very brilliant. He had some tough childhood days. His mother and his stepfather abandoned him, and so it really impacted him to the extent that he had thoughts of even killing them both, guess he overcome that to a degree in which not to take that to that extreme, but nonetheless he became one of the greatest scientists ever lived. Probably the greatest scientist that ever lived. He was one of those great scientists that set the stage for foundation for these modern day scientists. The thing with Kepler and Galileo and Copernicus, these people were scientists that look at the universe, they study God work and the work. They see the universe, they saw the universe as God and the work. And they studied to just understand how God did all of this, They were not ashamed. They were Christian believers. It's amazing how these scientists were these geniuses, were God-fearing, Bible-believing Christians. Their religion didn't impact their science, and their science didn't impact their religion to a degree in which they interpret scientific finding. And when they interpret the Bible, they establish contradiction between science and the nature of God. They say God created all things, and there's no way science will contradict the Bible, and there's no way the Bible will contradict what God has created. It bought what belongs to Him. The Scripture reveal reveal what He has created, and that He is the creator of all things. So none of them, actually none, they can't contradict each other. The contradiction comes from human science, human interpretation of both body information that is gleaned from both of these disciplines. And so the more scientists study the universe, the more they discover that there's a transcendent aspect to the universe that make every atheistic scientist become petrified and stupefied and very uneasy, extremely uneasy. Universe is a mighty complex place. It's very, very, it's unimaginably complex and beautiful. And when these former scientists, these are the antecedents of science, modern day science, look at the universe and all the beauty, magnificent, the sea, all the that God had created, and it glorified God. Einstein said, "The more I study science, the more I am amazed by the complexity of the universe, and the more I believe in the existence of God." You see that? Probably Einstein is the most brilliant theoretical physicist of all time, and this is what he said. He didn't scared of God. He embraced God. You know that all this what I'm studying cannot be by casting dice. That's what he says. He felt that natural law could not be like the throwing of dice with the inherent randomness and probability. The reason why Einstein made that is concerning quantum mechanics. He was not too much into quantum mechanics because quantum mechanics is a scientific theory that have a lot of counterintuitiveness to it, seemingly absurdities, seemingly uncertainties that this reality just seems random and disordered. It have no law-like features to it. You know, it would seem as almost of the law, the natural law, the law that governs the massive universe, like Newtonian laws, gravity, and all of this first, second, and third principle, Newtonian principle, all these things that govern the major aspect of the universe seems at that level of reality, it seems to have no bearing upon that. It's almost absurd to think about quantum mechanics with Newtonian physics, you know, and that's what it seems like, but that's not what it actually is, though, you know. That's what it seems like, and so that's why I made that statement that God doesn't play dice with the universe. The next scientist that came after him said that you're right, Einstein. God does not play dice with the universe. He plays Scrabble. Everything was by a super intelligent, willful agency. And the reason why we can't do science is because the universe was orderly. It has law-like intrinsic features to it. That's why we can predict, and we can expect tomorrow morning the sun based upon the principle of uniformity, you know, sun will rise tomorrow unless there's some supernatural intervention, some catastrophic global catastrophic event, astronomical catastrophic event that disturbed the whole planetary system, and the terminator lines that span for night and day. All of these things will, you know, if it wasn't for God, this would not be possible, because we know that chance and time can, spontaneity, Big Bang, none of these things can create order. None of these things can ever. Like are pointed out all the time, that the explosion of something, anything, the explosion of anything is a destruction of the thing. Explosion always create destruction. It can never form anything. So even though the term Big Bang came about in a ludicrous manner, you know, it just bear that name to it. I mean, but initially it wasn't the intended understanding, but it came by that mean out of ludicrous thought by another scientist. every honest scientist, when they study the universe, there is incredible, incredible master design and complexity to it. And you become awestruck. And when you look on the aesthetic of the universe, mind-boggling aesthetic, fine-tuning on all of these things. So these scientists back then, Kepler, Copernicus, Galileo, never see any contradiction between God and creation. It's just these modern day atheistic scientists all fight in defiance of what they're saying. They're not following the evidence where it's leading. They come up with all kind of rescuing devices, like for instance multi-universe with a mechanism. It's a mechanism that generate this multi-universe, and then this universe becomes the one that the winning universe out of all of the other multiple universe. We become the winning universe. It's a big cosmic lottery speculation or stipulation, and then the universe give rise to life, and every living thing, collection of living thing, and when the universe itself give rise to over billions of years of cosmic evolution. People have been coming up with various ways to understand ultimate reality. In terms of cosmology, astronomy, physics, when they study the universe, they come up with all kind of hypotheses and theories to explain what they have seen. A lot of times, and then new theories come and just bump those theories and so on. So the scientists always, it's a progressive thing. And many of them draw wrong conclusion to what they saw and what they see and what they will see in the future. They will ever draw wrong conclusion because they're a lot about the universe. The thing is that scientists are like, all of them are ABCnarians. The ABCnarians, when it come on to the whole gigantic aspect of this universe, it confounds them all the time. All of these theories that are formulated over the years have been obliterated by James Webb Telescope right now, and then they have to go back and recalibrate and go back over. Oh, you know what, we thought it was so. We thought that we'll see baby universe as we go way back in time. We weren't expecting to see these fully formed galaxies and stars and all of this, and the multiplicity of them. There shouldn't be that many. String theory is one of the things that they came up with not too long ago. Come up with at the fundamental level, there was bands of energy, different various bands of energy that are responsible for the fundamental aspect of physical matter. And a lot of scientists disagree with it, and they said that string theory is nothing but a philosophy, and worse, poetry. So physicists, trying to understand the universe, trying to explain the phenomena of the universe, turn it into a poetry. They become poets themselves. The universe will, using personification, the universe is laughing at the scientists, man. Laughing and mocking them, jaunting them, just, because the universe is going to say, these guys trying to understand me. Barely little things about me they understand. Little teeny bit like this they understand. But they're very persistent in studying me, but now and again I might reveal a little bit of myself to them. A little bit here and there. And they're so excited and so extravagant in their behavior and emotion when when I reveal a little aspect of myself to them, they all get elated and expansive, but they don't know that the half has never been told. Not yet. Maybe not in this lifetime. So a little bit of personification there. But yeah. When you come on to all these different multiverses and all of these things, it's a violation of the very scientific rule of thumb. This what they call it, Occam razor. Wouldn't it be more simpler to say a supernatural intelligent being created this universe than to come up with all these various hypotheses that seems far-fetched and unscientific? Occam razor. Don't multiply causes, man. We're dealing with economy here. And if God make best sense of the universe, then just leave it at that, and we go out and try to understand how he created this and how he did that and so on. So God does not destroy me. God they violated the principle of Occam razor. Occam razor is, even within science, said, in medical establishments, they would say to the students, medical student, that if you hear hoof beats, think horses, not zebra, right? But as knowledge progresses, as science progresses, like for instance in genetics won't say that. A geneticist would say, we think of all zebras, man, not just horses. We're not looking for just the proverbial horses here. We're looking for zebras. We're looking for everything. Because a lot of times you're so preoccupied with the horses, and the real reason, the real cause is a zebra. And so it prevents people from trying to fit a square into a circle. Widen horizon, broaden it. Not just to look on a small, possible, even though it's possible and rational, say, it's likely to be this or the potential cause of this. But then it could not be. It could be something more difficult. And then you should be widening your vista and take into consideration zebra, because probably there lies the solution to the problem. And it's just like in trying to use Occam razor in metaphysics. It can't be true. Someone could use it in the sense of say, instead of a triune God, why not just one person per being? Instead of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, why not just the Father? But the problem with it, the principle of Occam razor does not apply to metaphysics, does not apply to ontology. It's just science. Right? So according to Greek mythology, Prometheus, a Titan god. Titans were overthrown by the Olympians who dwell on Mount Olympus. He stole fire from Olympus and gave it to us. Technology and gone to Greek mythology. And he was punished by Zeus, the Olympian god of gods. Now, God is the one who gave science to humanity. And he gave the the metaphysical capability to use this tool to observe and to study studiously all the things that I've created. And then after you finish created all of these things, then you give glory to me. Because I am the creator of all what you're going to study. So, and the difference, another difference is who is there? He didn't steal it from anywhere to give to man, like Prometheus, and that was punished by Zeus. Who is there to punish my God, to give the tool of science to humanity for him to study nature? No one. No one. He could have made a different decision, but he condescended to mankind to reveal himself in many ways to mankind for them to know who he is and to acknowledge him as the creator. Isaac Newton was, as I said before, he was a colossal genius, you know, and he laid the foundation, and we come on to Newtonian physics and gravity and all of these things, and then Einstein come on the scene and kind of improve upon his work, shave off certain things and smooth out certain things, because like the general theory of relativity and special theory of relativity with Einstein, that's those two theories really catapult him out there, man, make him become the institution of physics itself. Can't talk about physics without talking about Einstein. Right, and then come up with all of this, the dilation of time dilation, contraction of space and matter and all of these things. When you know, it's a very it's almost like a surrealistic world. Come to special theory of relativity, speed of light, going faster than the speed of light, closer to the speed of light, you know, can lead to some very hairy, counterintuitive expectation results, and then space-time explanation of, you know, Newtonian physics. You know, space is not as how we once thought it was. You know, space is not nothing. Space is something. It was created by God. Seems like it has some kind of stretchiness to it. It's part of its property and also medium where of electromagnetism. So it's something, right? And so these, and even Galileo was really the father of special relativity, you know. Galileo and Einstein would take his idea and really elevate it and just fine-tune things. But he's the father of it, really, Galileo. To tell you how these men back then were brilliant. They were brilliant thinkers. And they think in terms of, I probably would want to say that when they use the ether within the universe and all of these things and other almost like Greek mythology, you know, they use, you know, in their understanding of the universe, and God must be turning this and tweaking that, the kind of deistic understanding, and angel is turning the earth and turning the universe and all of these things. It sounds like a Greek mythology, and some people would say that's God in the gap until modern science replace them, see them as insignificant. And it's the same thing. Misunderstanding or misunderstanding lead us to come up with a lot of theory, or misunderstanding come up with a lot of theories and hypotheses about the universe, because and even though we don't know, but we still speculate. Even though we don't know, we still come up with different explanation why this is this and why this, just like dark matter and dark energy and all of these things. While dark matter seems to be a plausible phenomenon of the universe, probably even actual, dark energy is another problem, is another issue. And even though some theory allow for that still, but no need to dispense with God and think God is an hindrance to science. It's not an hindrance. And Schrodinger's cat, Copernicus interpretation of a quantum world, quantum mechanics, just to point out the counterintuitiveness of it. Some consider it a thought experience, but just a point. It's a point he's making. And even that lead to a lot of people to say, if reality doesn't, if observing, when reality is due to our observation of it, but if we don't see it, it doesn't exist. This is what all the quantum mechanic, these are some of the assertions is drawing from that, is making from that, because it's such a very difficult era of physics, right? And it seems as if it's the fundamental of science. That's where the foundation of reality really is. Is it so? Is it really so, or just sheer and just mere speculation? Because they reached to a point, a depth in physics that seems to challenge their understanding and define every known law that they can think of. The quantum wave function, wave be like particle and particle like wave. Very mysterious level of existence. And so will they ever reach to the Mariana Trench of it? Right to the bottom of it? Is this really the bottom? Do they really know where they actually are concerning this? Because the deeper they dig within the fabric of space-time energy, the more things become elusive and insusceptible to scientific scrutiny and investigation and testability and observability and all of these things. These fundamentals of scientific methodology, repeatability. Einstein doesn't like, he was not into it. And when talk about quantum entanglement, when one object here and then 3 million, 4 billion miles away, they seems to work together. It's an interesting concept, and I think some scientists think that um, they use some kind of experimentation to prove that it was true. Einstein didn't believe it. They kind of called it this pokiness about this whole scientific thing, and he's not into those kind of scientific theories that seems purely impractical, that seems far-fetched. He believe in science and physics to a degree, even though it's a theoretical physics, but it think on a level that can be made actual by the tool of science itself. Not and so to him, when a physicist step outside of physicists in their thought experiments and step into something like Alice in Wonderland, step into some kind of not supernatural, but in some kind of almost probably more magical. That's why I said Alice in Wonderland. With those theory seems outside of the sphere, also the pale of real physics. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing we would say with quantum theory. These are more not scientific statement, but they are more philosophical, and even to the extent that, well, as I mentioned earlier, some scientists claim that this is all poetry. It has no appeal, it has no applicability to science. Can't be verified empirically, just So a lot of that involved in science, a lot of those things involved in science nonetheless. But there's a lot more to the universe beyond the wildest dream. Beyond our wildest dream. This is what Isaac Newton says. As he studied the universe. So different than modern day scientists, man. He said, "I do not know what I may appear to the world, but to myself I seem to have been only a little boy playing on the seashores and diverting myself now and then in finding a smoother pebble or a prettier shell than ordinary, whilst the great ocean of truth lay undiscovered before me." Now, from Isaac Newton made that statement, a lot of discoveries have been made about the universe. But despite all the discoveries about the universe still remain enigmatic, complex, elusive, transcendent. Just it is itself, the universe itself presupposes transcendence. That a lot of modern day scientists rule out. There's nothing but what we see. The universe itself is all there is. Is all that is. Right? But nonetheless, it's giving them a hard time. There's a Christian astrophysicist, Jason Lies, made a prediction about what they would discover by the James Webb Telescope, and that's exactly what's taking place. So all those atheistic scientists, they're trembling in frustration and confusion and perplexity. They don't know what's going on because they come up with all the theories, hoping this telescope would present them with information that confirm their theories and hypotheses. But unfortunately for them, it's not the case right now. The case right now for them is utter disappointment and confusion and humiliation. And regardless of the evidence is pointing to creationism, they still hold on defiantly and incorrigibly to their theories that have been proved bankrupt and falsifiable by the James Webb Telescope. You see, when somebody hold on to something and want this thing that they hold on to be, doesn't matter what the evidence around him. Willful ignorance. It doesn't matter what the evidence around him. He will refuse to let go. He refuses to let go. And it's all the intellectual pride. I've been holding on to this for many years, and many of these, even origin of life biologists and theorists, they know they read books like The Prodigy of God by Steve Myers and many other brilliant authors, scientific authors and stuff like that, that show them that reality has to be explainable by the existence of a super intelligent being. But losing funding, losing reputation, losing colleagues, losing my job, they still, even though they recognize that that the evidence is leading to this part, they still hold on to this because I want to keep my job, I want to keep my reputation, I want to get funding for my research, even though your research is a dead end, leading nowhere. And so they will die searching for the origin of life. And the physicists, all of them will die. They will retire and die, and never understanding not over 50% of what you're studying. Because as I said before, known scientists come out and said all they can know with certainty is just 5%. Just 5. In spite of all what you hear them saying and touting over the media and all of these things. Just 5%. The knowledge of the universe is within just 5%. When will they get to 50%? Never in their lifetime. You see, when you're dealing with an intellectual property of a divine being that's infinitely power and wise, what do you expect? What do you expect? To just run through this some easy little subject matter and then go and pat yourself on the back that I came up with the explanation of it, and then you get your Nobel Prize and all of these millions of dollars and books and all of these things. No, not gonna happen, man. I'm not a pessimist. I'm a realist. Realist, man. Study it as much as you can. Learn as much as you can. But do not try to plagiarize God's intellectual property and credit it to any nonsense, any chance, time. and all of this some kind of naturalistic explanation that, there's no naturalistic explanation to anything within the universe. It's just like there is no naturalistic explanation to anything that we have created. There's no naturalistic explanation to the manufacture of a car, a truck, building of a house. No, there's no naturalistic explanation for that. There's a manufacturer behind it. There's a design, the purpose behind it. There's an intelligence, a will behind it. Purposefulness. So that is it. So it's not a deistic universe where God now and again come and tweak here and there and fix things because things is getting loose and and the universe might eventually break down if it doesn't come in and fix here and tweak here and stuff like that. So that's a deistic concept of universe. No, God is the universe is, as some would liken to it, is a musical instrument. You need a player to play it always, and without a player it cannot be played. So people use different kind of knowledges and different kind of explanation to explain, to illustrate how God did with universe. So God always intimately involved with his universe. His providential working out all things to his decree, his purpose, and his will. And one day he will recreate. He will destroy this one. Some people believe that not a de novo creation, but he will remodel it. Some people believe that. But he promises that there will be a new universe, new heaven and earth. You see? Only God can create the universe. Nobody, no human being will ever do that. And those who are thinking of creating a baby universe in the lab. Yeah? Creating a baby universe in the lab, man. Come on, man. Come on. Not even the conception of it can take place. Much more to have a baby universe. No, man. So next I will deal with the great Einstein. Look forward for that. People, subscribe, man. Let us have some good reasoning and various things. And science is a blessing. It's a tool given to us by God. It's great. It's wonderful. It's how the tool has been used. That's the problem. And the conclusion drawn from inductive reasoning for, by studying stuff. Scientists, fallible human being, and bias and all of this prejudice and stuff like that, and anti-theistic. So that's what creating the problem. God and his universe. Universe is his brainchild, is his intellectual property, and will let no one steal it from him. And even though they created the James Webb Telescope to confirm things that they said about the universe, God said, okay, I'll use it to show you, to confirm you scientists. It's going to confirm me, not you. Not what you think, but it's going to confirm what I have revealed to you. And that's what's happening. I don't know, because they have been so embarrassed, man. They wanted to just take it back from outer space. Because it's not on their side. It's on the creationist side. We don't want to doubt, whether they want to disbelieve it or not. It's true, man. The James Webb Telescope is confirming creationism, not cosmic evolution. So people, subscribe.